Welcome everyone to Learning Analytics second live interaction. Okay, this I'll keep it, right. Before we start, I would like to make some announcement that uh, there were some issues in assignment 3, assignment 4. We all know about it. There are a lot of questions in the chat. We all know about it. Thanks for notifying us. There was some mistake from our side while we create assignment 3, and in assignment 4 there was a mistake from technical difficulty where the answers are not matching. Please be sure that we are taking care of that, and we have reduced some marks. Now we remove some questions. These things will happen. Don't worry, it will happen. And there are a lot of questions about I missed assignment 2, 3, and 4, but I want to do write exams. I want to tell you that out of 12 assignments, only 8 assignments will be graded. So if you have missed a couple of assignments, it's fine, because we can't change the date for any one user, because it's even for one course, it's for more than like national level, all the courses has to run by SWAYAM and NPTEL. So what we do is if you miss a couple of assignments, that is fine, okay. And the other announcements I want to make is so if you miss a couple of assignments, please make sure that you work on another from all assignments from now onwards, and the assignments in the top 8 assignments grades will be used for the grading. And even if you do only 6 assignments, if you do well, and it's enough for the to clear this course, to get the good marks also. The second one is most questions about again the questions comes about the data for analysis. We provide some data to you to get hands-on with the tools we provide, like Orange or ISAT, or other tools like process miner or sequential pattern mining, those kind of tools. So we provide those tools actually for you to get hands-on, get some feeling of the data, and but these are artificial generated. Some still asking, can we get a clickstream data from clickstream data from from a Moodle or something like that. So I would suggest there's nobody give all the clickstream data of the Moodle, but I suggested last time couple of free open source Moodles available. In fact, the LMS like a Moodle provides you the log data, not at the time level. Even any LMS don't allow you to host all the videos. It's no guarantee that students is watching videos or reading everything in the LMS. The students tend to download those download those PDF or the videos using watching the YouTube. So you don't you won't be able to capture those data. For example, in this particular course, we host this discussion forum in a Google group, so we won't get data from there. And we can manually, after a lot of discussions, we can write some scripts to extract the discussion forum frequency of each user and everything. The second one is all the data is hosted in YouTube Cloud. It's because for the convenience. And can we get the data of users watching speed? Are they watching the transcription on? Are they watching with seeking the video? Are they watching part of the video? All these things we can't get it, because this is big part of the Google's YouTube analytics. And they don't store all the data, they store only the metadata to show you the analytics. So that data also we don't have it. So even if you think of creating a complete course using LMS, no guarantee that student will be reading every PDF from your LMS. So to avoid that, what I will do, we create a small part of the course. Say I want to teach 3 concepts in this course using some kind of software. We try to create some small scripts and softwares where we capture students' interactions. So that data is the one issue, and I saw some questions that can we have a example of learning analytics in multiple levels, say the levels from descriptive, diagnostics, predictive, and prescriptive. To answer that, it's called as adaptive tutoring systems. There won't be anyone talking about all the 4 methods in one data. The purpose of each research is different from studying a book kind of analysis. So you can start with basic prescriptive analytics and intelligent tutoring systems. For example, I want to teach maths to class 6 students. I want to teach 3 concepts: algebra, geometry, or fraction, something like that. And you created a system which collects students' interaction data. And consider that you have run the system using online for say 1,000 users, 1,000 students, and you will have you will have data for the description, 1,000 students to analyze which student is doing well, which place, and all this thing. Then you can do the diagnostic analytics on the data, and also you can predict the student's performance, whether the student will pass the exam, or the student will score how much they score, or the students will complete a particular given problem. Based on that, you might be able to provide a feedback. Okay, so this is possible with the one intelligent tutoring system. As I mentioned, I didn't talk much about the intelligent tutoring system part, that is the prescriptive analytics, in this course, because there will be a separate course to design the system and provide adaptive feedback. So there won't be a single system giving you all the data, but there will be a lot of systems. Your own examples can consider for the descriptive, diagnostic, and predictive analytics. That's the second thing I want to talk. The third thing is there are a couple of questions about I want to give more example about Bayesian theorem, or give more details about decision tree, or give more examples about linear algebra, linear regression, where is the hyperparameter, all those things. We did not so we did not actually think of teaching you all the required what I mean is we did not want you to teach everything in machine learning to you. Instead, in this course, we try to teach the flavor of machine learning, what are the tools, what are the algorithms, how these algorithms works over an abstract way. As I mentioned in the introduction, also in the initial of the class, this course is for everyone who can be from different, how do I say, different, they can be from different background, not necessarily from mathematics background. So I avoided calculus completely in this course. That's why I didn't even want to teach anything about how to training is happening, what are hyperparameters. So if you are interested in each video, I might tell you that go and watch particular videos or read some papers. So Andrew Ng's videos, always general, go and read or watch these videos. Or NPTEL, there's a course called machine learning. Go and watch the videos in the course, really interesting, and they teach more depth. So these are the two videos, two places you can go, or there are a lot of other resources available in the internet. I want to tell you some difference, in learning. Just a minute. Chat disconnected. Chat disconnected. Please try sometime. Last 2, 3, 5 minutes is happening again. I don't know how long it is happening like that. Yeah, it's long. It's still rotating. Internet activity is not done.
It's got hello? Hello? Hello?
Can you go there? ITV?
Yes.
Log out and log in again.
इसमें है ना वायर से लिया हुआ है ना हाँ तो
ये वायर नहीं वायरलेस है
अच्छा ये वाला वायरलेस है
आप लाइन में हो
Okay, I'm live.
Yes, you are live.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. So there was some technical difficulty here, so I thought I was not in live. So I was talking about there's a difference between 20th century and 21st century learners. In 20th century, I talked about this in a week 12 video also. In 20th century learners, what happens? We go to a teacher who's the guru, who's the source of knowledge. He has to teach everything. But in the 21st century learners, I think everything is available on the internet. More than you know, more the teachers, the learners have more access to it, and learners might have more knowledge about anything. The internet availability, all the content. So I would suggest, if you are interested, go and check in internet and do more. The current idea we gave about what is Bayesian or what is naive Bayes or what is this pattern learning will give you the basic flavor of how to read those papers, and it will help you to easily understand those things in clear in other videos. That's the other thing I want to talk. And there are a couple of questions that what is data wrangling, or can you include something? So data wrangling is, for us it's kind of it is data pre-processing technique. It's other name they use it in the industry, but we won't use that. Yeah, we won't use that word here because I don't want to go into a pure data processing here. In educational learning analytics, also in the learning analytics, we don't use this kind of the technical words used in a data mining industry or process mining industry. We use data pre-processing because that's what we process the data. Now, data wrangling is basically to extract features. We use features like feature tools or some other tools. So I was telling about the features. For example, I was talking about the features. Let me show you. I was talking about the features in general. Someone asked me what are the other methods to show features. So I always tell that features, there are two things. If you have a data, always go for a frequency and duration. So what a basic feature extraction technique is frequency and duration. I explained in detail in one video, but let's explain here a bit. So suppose you have action, say read action, and watching video, and the other action, say taking quiz or something like that. So if there are student 1 is doing this action, if you have a sequence of these actions, read, watch video, and again read, something like that, and also student 2 is doing this, and also you have a time associated with that. Read is watching for 45 seconds and watch video for 3 minutes, and he did the quiz for in the quiz there will be like 10 questions. The question 1 he took 30 seconds, in the question 2 he took 20 seconds. The question 1 he selected the right option, so the answer is right, the answer is wrong, something. So we have more contextual information on these actions. The basic feature you can do when you do the descriptive analytics, look at the analytics for frequency. For student 1, what is the frequency of read action? Like how many times it occurred in one session, say 5 or something like that. Watch video, the student watched 7 videos in a week, something. I took only 2. Quiz maybe took only 3 times or something like that. It's a student 1 frequency in a session. Now you can do it in a week, or in the last 50 minutes. You can combine a lot of things here. Just by frequency you can create a lot of features. For each student, the frequency of action in the last session, last 5 minutes, last week video, or last week, all these things. There's the other thing that you can consider, the duration. How much duration? The same read, you can say that duration. For duration, you can say in a session 1, average duration of average video watching time. So these kind of things you can extract. So when you are thinking about extracting, you can extract a lot of these kind of information. So what I mean here is there are two basic things. One is time, and other one is The one is time, the other one is duration. The two important things you should, should consider it. So that's what I was saying. So if you want to know more about that, you can, read papers, look at the recent papers in EDM or LAC conference. What are the features the researchers use, the authors use? That gives you idea what features you can extract. The basic features I always suggest you to start with, frequency and duration. By doing more and more analysis, you will learn how to create more features by reading more papers. That's all idea it comes from. And there will be 100 features you can create, but which features to select? The first step is domain expert. You are the one expert. What you do, which features to select is based on your knowledge on the system and the students' interaction. Then you can use, feature selection algorithm like that. And the other question was about, what is the difference between data mining and data profiling? We don't use the word data profiling in ML or data analytics or learning analytics at all. But data profiling is if there are a lot of data, extract the features like mean, median, the one which is outliers, all this information has been extracted. We call this a metadata extraction. So can we tell about the data and the metadata extraction? That only metadata will be used for the further process. Instead of using all the data, the only metadata will be used for the process. That's good for data mining industry, but it's not in a research or in a ML field. We don't use the word called data profiling. Whereas data mining is complete picture, like from all the data, what are the sequence you are mining, patterns mined about it. Can we create some new information, new inference from the data, some diagnostic analytics you can do. All these things are kind of part of a data mining. Okay, and I want to answer last question before we go into the questions here in the chat. What is the difference between high frequency mean and high frequency median? This question has come many times, so I'd like to clear that thing before we take the questions in the chat. Okay, so let's consider a pattern, say read to quiz. S1, S2, S3, S4, S5. Okay, I know where the confusion comes because I was explaining, that with very minimal patterns. I was not clearly explaining because all the S frequency is actually addition of numbers, so that's where the confusion is. Suppose there is a pattern called read to quiz and there are 5 students, S1, S2, S3, S4, S5. And student 1 got this pattern 3 times, student 2 got 0 times, student 3 got this pattern 4 times, and student 3 got 4 times, student 4 got 2 times, and student 5 got 1 time. Okay. Now what is the sequence or the S frequency? How many students have this got pattern at least once? We are not asking how many patterns they got it. How many students got this pattern at least once? There are 4 students got this pattern at least once, like S1, S3, S4, S5. So the total of 5 students. So S frequency is 0.8, right? So that's very simple, right? So this is called S frequency. I call it as a S frequency sequence indicator. I might use the words interchangeably. That's all called S frequency. Now high frequency, okay, high frequency is instance indicator basically. How many times it happened? If it happened to the students, ignore the S2 because it never occurred. Out of 4 students, what is the frequency of this particular pattern occurring? We can compute, given the numbers. There are 4 students, the numbers like 3, 4, 2, 1. Given this number, we can compute multiple things. Maybe we can compute, median, okay, or mean, or you can compute mode also. But I'm not, that's not making any sense here. So let's do median. From this, can I compute the mean? So high frequency mean will be 3 plus 4, 7, 7 plus 3, 10. So 10 by 4 students only, not 5 students. Only 4 students have this pattern. So it will be 2.5. If I compute a standard deviation of this value, standard deviation, how do you compute? 2.5 minus 3 will be 0.5 whole square plus 2.5 minus 4 1.5 into whole square, no, if you mod operator and whole square, both are good. So if you do that addition, that divided by, the total value will give you the standard deviation. It's exactly same, no. You will have a standard deviation not high, maybe 1 around for this particular problem. This is good because all the maximum is 4, the minimum is 1, and your mean is 2.5. There won't be much difference in it. If I want to do the high frequency median, what I have to do first, I have to arrange the number in ascending order 1, 2, 3, 4. I have to take the middle two numbers because it's no, that's a single middle number because second and third is, so 2 plus 3, 5 divided by 2, 2.5. My median is also 2.5. So what happens, okay, what happens is that in this particular scenario, mean and median are same. I'll give you the second scenario where the problem will be more difficult. Let me say. The scenario is quiz to read. Student 1 got 25 times, student 2 got 6 times, student 3 got 0 times, and student 4 got 2 times, and student 5 got 1 time. Now we know the S frequency is 0.8 because the 4 students who got it out of 5 students, so S is 0.8. Or let me say, let me consider this as 6 again. So S frequency here is say 1 because all the students add this pattern at least once. Okay, so consider this as all students having it. So S frequency is equal to 1. Now, what is the high frequency mean? There are 5 numbers. If you add all this number 12, 14, 15 plus 40, 40 by 5, high frequency mean equal to 8. Okay, but if you do the standard deviation, that will be more than 8, maybe 10 or something like that. If you look at high frequency mean and the standard deviation, that will indicate how the data is skewed or data is properly distributed or not. It is clear if you just look at the median, mean and standard deviation. If the standard is really high compared to mean, just go for a median. Why median? Because only one student had this frequency pattern a lot. We cannot make us any inference out of this one student's pattern only. So in this case, if I want to go for a high frequency median, so let's say high frequency median, how do I do? I arrange the number in 1, 6, 6 and 25. The middle number is 6, the median value is 6. It's far better than go for 8. So I'm just giving an example of 5 students. If you have 50 students, you are computing median or mean, and there will be a difference. So my idea here is that you compute the mean first and see standard deviation also come. When you give a sequence of numbers, say 10 numbers, it's all easy to compute mean, standard deviation. You can use Excel tool or you can use any other online tools to compute mean and standard deviation. It's general mean, no need to worry about special mean or something like that. And if you see the standard deviation is really high, not less. Standard deviation actually indicates the width of this curve. It's really high, and you should probably use the median. That's my suggestion. So that's a difference between high frequency mean and median. Okay, so that's all kind of questions I had before we move on to discussion, interacting with you. So thanks for joining today, and let me look at the questions and I just try to answer it. Okay. Okay. So I don't have answer about the course, about the exams or things that NPTEL can answer. Where we can get the class notes and slides. I think the slides are uploaded every week. The slides are there in the site. The transcripts are being uploaded. We have done the transcript for first 4 or 5 weeks. It's all done, and the quality checking is happening. People are checking it whether the transcript is right or wrong. Once it is done, tested, I think we upload it soon. I hope it's all before before the exam. This transcript will be done. What are the mathematics skill or topics I need to know? Okay, I just made this whole course for anyone who can take this course. There's no special mathematics skill is needed. So if you find even no, I made sure this course doesn't need really mathematics skill beyond basic mean, median, addition, those kind of things. Or one particular place we talk about Bayesian problem. Only that particular algorithm I just talked about, probability. If you can't understand that, please watch a video which explains, what is the Bayesian probability. There are a lot of good videos there, and that's the only mathematics skill you need. But if you found interest in ML after attending this course, if you want to do more, I would suggest go and read further books, machine learning books. Which books to take? That's the other question. Don't worry, go to internet and type which is the best book in for machine learning to read. You want to read machine learning with a programming script language like a Python or something else. Think about it and go to Quora. There will be hundreds of answers explaining you with each and every detail. Select based on your decision. If you want to do Python with machine learning, take the book they suggest. Or if you want to do only the machine learning core mathematics, take the book by Christopher Bishop on a pattern recognition book. They are a very good book. Or if you don't want to read a book, you want to learn everything on your own from the YouTube videos, I refer Professor Andrew Ng's video. Also the machine learning course run by NPTEL, Professor Ravindran is there, and there's also one more course run by machine learning, a world course. All the videos available in IIT Kharagpur professors' videos. So go and refer that. They are detailed, explaining each and every algorithm with training parameters, hyperparameters, everything. But for this course, you don't need much mathematics skills. This course is all about how do you collect data and how to use these tools. These tools are easy to use, all are intuitive tools, and how to apply. So that's the whole idea about it. So if you still find difficult, and please check the videos on the machine learning things. If not, you can write it in the discussion forum. Okay. This question comes up all the time, which tool is giving reliable results, Orange or Vector? Honestly speaking, there will be a algorithm. Suppose if I want to apply a linear regression, there will be algorithm on, training the weights. The only difference will be the training the weights difference. Both tool, irrespective, if they both use the same training, suppose say they use gradient descent algorithm to train the weights, both will give exact result. There's no difference between results. So there might be difference, rounding the numbers or number of digits they consider for the analysis. That's one reason in all assignments, we don't give the kind of answers. We don't give the exact number as answer. We give a range of answers to avoid this rounding error. I would suggest if you are comfortable with Orange and you have access to it, and you are an academic institute, you have access to Orange, go with Orange. Orange is a very, it's a lot of visualization and easy to use. I would suggest go with Orange. Okay. If both are using the same training algorithm, both will give the same result. It's just the same mathematical formula should be applied. So do you assure that assignment evaluation will be done so that the score? Okay. So as I mentioned in the start of the course, week 3, week 4 assignment, there was an issue. I totally agree. We apologize for that. There was issues from week 3 assignment from our side, and week 4 there were some technical issues. And we make sure that those questions which have ambiguous answers will be removed from the assignment 3, and the week 4 has been recalculated. It will be done before this exam. Also, I'm not want to tell you that there are other 8 more assignments. That's not a right thing to do. I will make sure we assure that will be done. So don't worry about this course. If still the issue comes, please post it in the discussion forums. We are looking at regularly, and we are taking care of all this questions seriously. Okay, corporate learning analytics. That's a good question. So there are ways to do learning analytics. When you apply learning analytics in the classroom, it's called learning analytics. When you apply learning analytics to the corporation level, at the university level, it's kind of called as there's no learning analytics. The analytics applied on that is called as business intelligence. But if you're thinking about corporate learning analytics, like the learning and training division in the corporates where they train the employees, are they using learning analytics? Based on my knowledge, I was actually interacting with one government I was a consultant to one government bank and also doing a project with them. We are trying to develop a system for collecting data, providing feedback. Most of the systems in corporate training, there's no data collection happening, absolutely. And in fact, the training is basically a set of slides they have to watch and set of questions they have to answer. Nobody is actually looking at whether they read the questions or not, what are the answers, are they answering the first attempt, or what are the wrong options they select. Nobody cares, as of now, most of the companies. But recently, in last couple of years, companies are coming forward, collecting data and thinking about are they watching the videos properly, or are they spend some time on the reading content or simply skipping it. Those kind of checks are added, as a fixed algorithm. But I don't know there are any other system or any other corporate using the learning analytics in their business. But if the analytics applied on a corporate data, that's called business intelligence. I said we are not dealing with that in this course. Okay, so what is the use case? Okay, so I would suggest directly this: go to a educational data mining conference and LAK conference, Learning Analytics Conference, Artificial Intelligence in Education Conference, AIED. I talked about all this conference in week 12 actually to sum up all these things. So go to this conference websites and they are from some society, there you will have papers published in last year, 2019 and 2020. For example, in a EDM conference, they keep all the proceedings open free. You go to educational data mining conference, you go to that particular community, go to the conferences, go to the proceedings. You will you will have all the papers. Go and read few papers where they used ML, and you can see where they applied it. Like they will talk about the data. In fact, these conferences also giving some of the competitions. They are giving data to you. For example, 2019 EDM, they gave a data of NEAP students interaction with a set of questions, say two exams, and they gave a data. They ran a competition on that, and there were a lot of people participated all around the world. So you might get a link to a data. Also, you get the where they are applying the ML on the data. What are the different different problems is really interesting in learning for ML to apply. So go and check this EDM conference, LAK, and AIED, Artificial Intelligence in Education. Okay, I talked about a couple of more conferences in a week 12. So can I get some data or database assignments from my side? We try to start with the data assignments, but no, it's not really working well. If you are much interested, in a data, I would say go to data shop is the one place where you all start with. Or recently, I would suggest recently there is. Recently, there is a competition running in Kaggle. I would say what's most of you might know what is Kaggle. So I'm writing it here. So recently, there's something competition running in Kaggle. So there's a big competition running in Kaggle, Kaggle. Please note it down. Go and search it if you don't know Kaggle already. Please check it out. Kaggle is the it's kind of platform where all this ML competition is. They run a lot of educational competitions. Recently, there's a one competition running, and it's very huge and supported by a big companies from China, I think, and it is supported by AI conference. Also, this data, if you are finding something new in a Kaggle, this data you can publish paper in a EAAI workshop also. So this Kaggle conference, what's happening is they actually give a data of students interacting with the question and answer system, and they're asking some questions. Can you predict the student's performance? Something like that. So if you are interested in data, go and get those data. And that day, Kaggle gives a lot of assignments. This is the latest ones. Also, you can look at the previous education related competitions. The good thing about Kaggle is I would say that the good thing about Kaggle is it's about a big network. They have a notepad where you can look at how other people are approaching the problem. Somebody will completely give you the the codes to look at the problem, how to deal with that, because this particular data is like hundred thousands in range, so it's too big data. And so I would suggest go and check the Kaggle and you get the feel of what is the data in education. And after looking at data, you would say that, hey, I can also have a similar kind of data. This data is not really tough to get it. The data they gave is only the question and answer data. So if you have a simple Google sites, create your own Google form and collect data, and that data also can be used for the analysis. The only thing is missing, in the existing industry, and what I want to use is interaction behavior. Most of the people adapt or consider the performance data. I want everyone to think about the interaction behavior, the time they spend on each activity, what are the sequence of actions they are doing. These all tells you more about students learning. So that is what missing in the data we get it in the internet or something like that. So that's what I'm saying. That data we may not get it. So please, try find out some data. And I suggested a method in the last video is there will be a lot of final year students in a 3-year course or 4-year course will be interested to work on a real world problem, and they don't know what is the problem, real world problem. So ask the students to create a front-end back-end system, front-end front-end back-end system, Ruby on Rails or Django, Python or something like that. There are a lot of students who are interested to work on it. And most of my systems has been created by the interns from the 3rd and 4th year students only. They come and they develop a system. They develop a system with the front end, back end, and they create a systems with some teaching for 30 minutes or 1 hour interaction videos or some questions. From those data, I collect the information. Then we improve that systems. And I just we don't have a complete system yet to share any data. And once we have a complete system and we get the consent form from our Institute Ethics Committee, we will be able to share the data about this. But currently we don't have data. So the data sources can be go to data shop, look at the data, go to Cognitive Tutor. There are a lot of data to share. Look at the Cognitive Tutor data. And the Kaggle competitions, they give a lot of educational data. So what I'm saying is you might get a data from this, but you won't get a data you need it. So the only way to get the data you need is to create your own system and do it, or find out a method to do that. Talk to a computer science teacher, computer science professor or student, and get the system developed. That's the only way I would suggest. It's one of the right way to do it, because that will get the data what you want, and you can able to answer the questions you are asking. Okay. So we will be, the class notes and PPTs will be shared soon. Actually, it's already shared the PPTs. I'm not sure, but PPTs are kind of given. Okay, they're downloading the videos and the weeks. Okay. Okay, if there's a rule of thumb for selecting the feature. Okay. So I would suggest there's no rule of thumb for selecting features. So this question, actually, this is the major problem in any machine learning problem, is selecting the features. What are the features you are constructing? It's not just in education, not in the learning analytics. Any machine learning problem, the feature selection is the key. The people spend 75% of time in extracting this feature. That's called feature engineering or data pre-processing, the feature extraction. So as I mentioned, start with the time and duration. If there's a 3 actions, talk about frequency of the read action in last 1 hour, last 5 hours, or last 1 session, last 3 sessions. Compare between high performer versus low performer. For example, if there's 100 students are writing exam in a particular environment, and you are capturing their performance, that is the answer to the question, also the time they're taken to answer the question, consider a couple of things. Okay. Now you you find out the simple descriptive analytics between high performance versus low performance. I'm not talking about make into 2 groups. You can make 3 groups: high, medium, low. Compare high and low performance. Is there any difference? Whichever features is descriptive analytics coming up, take those features. For systems like predicting, students' affective states, researchers come up with hundreds of features, more than 100, 200, 300 features. Then they apply, feature selection algorithm, like simple correlation algorithm, or PCA, something like that, principal component analysis. These algorithms are available in the tools you use, Veka or Orange. Just go and apply PCA. If you have 100 features, 1000 features, 100 features with one dependent data, give the data. PCA might give you combination of these features, good features to select. The first step is coming up with a lot of features. The simple rule I always suggest is go with the frequency and the duration. And how to improve the skill of collecting more features is by reading more papers from this conferences like EDM and LAK. They come up with the features. Also, some of the papers I am showing in the videos, going forward in a week 7, week 8, you will have a lot of week 8 or week 9. You will have a papers. I will be sharing the papers. I know one paper got we don't have access to paper. We share the paper, in the announcements, because that is our paper. We can share that, and we make sure the papers we discuss in the videos will be shared with you. You have access to it. Look at those videos. Look at those papers and read what are the features they are coming out, and think about how they came up with these features. The one thing is domain knowledge. The other one is the feature engineering, like a time, duration, and expanding and combining these two factors to create multiple features. Okay. Sequential pattern mining, where can we get more use cases for the more practice? Oh, okay. That is a good question. Okay, that's a good question. I'm gonna. So in a sequential pattern mining, the one thing you have to do is you have to arrange the sequence in a arrange the actions in a sequence. So S1, S2, S3. If you have any system, any system which captures actions, you can use arrange the sequence in the actions. Read, quiz, something like that, like this. So if you don't have a system to do that, I would suggest actually, I would suggest you create your own set of features. Imagine a couple of interactive students are doing, or use some, Monte Carlo simulation to generate some features, then apply the feature mining. If you have any log data in this level, you can use it. If you are using Moodle somewhere, I'm sure many of you have access to some LMS. Go to Moodle logs. Go to Moodle logs, and there will be a lot of actions in the sequence coming. They will be issued in sequence. Take each students, arrange in this particular order, this particular sequence. Then you can use the tool which you shared. That will be enough to extract more number of features. So if you have a sequence of actions captured, you can apply sequential pattern mining. Okay. I don't have any data immediately to share, but what we do, we use Moodle data and share it, and we will share you a simple tool which is used to extract features from the Moodle. But go to Moodle. There will be always a logs recorded in the Moodle. All the teachers will have access to it. Download those logs and convert that into this particular format, like a student 1 sequence of action, student 2 sequence of action, and apply the sequential mining. How can we implement all this? Okay, I don't know what is corporate learning data. If Mr. Sharma, if you can explain what is corporate learning, I'll be happy to look at it. And yeah, thanks for the answers. Yeah, 0.8, and that's exactly the right answer for the sequential pattern mining. I hope you all got the sense of why we apply the median and mean. My use case is to identify the pattern which has highest S frequency. Can we use SPM? If yes, then no. Okay, why we no? Okay, you want to identify the pattern which has occurred to most of the students. Okay, highest S frequency. I see. Yeah, SPM will do it. You just apply the SPM and it will give you the S frequency in one column and then I frequency mean just ascending order. Then you pick the top top patterns which has highest S frequency. If the sequence of action is single action like read or quiz, ignore them. Find a pattern at least two. But a same action students are spending more number of time, so it's also a useful pattern to consider, but not needed, not interesting. So consider the at least two actions in sequence for the pattern mining. Yes, you can use the SPM. Just run the arrange those actions in the format we suggested, input format, that is student 1 or ID 1, all the actions in a sequence, and give it as an input. Then it will work. If not, just check for that. If this SPM tool is not working, you think this tool is not really good, check something called associate mining or something like that. So association mining is the one which gives you this this similar results. Oh, with the graphs, see the questions asked in assignment is to intuitively think of, it's not exact coefficient. Out of 4 answers, you will intuitively be able to guess the answers. That's the whole idea we want to give. There's a small bend, definitely it's not a linear curve, so it should be answers kind of a 0.98 or something like that. That's the idea we are trying to give. But with the graph data, we cannot, with just a graph data, with too many data, we may not able to produce, find the correlation. If you're asking about assignments, it's just we are trying to ask you whether you understood the how this data looks like for these two correlation metrics we use in the course. Learning path based on successful learners, historical sequence learning pattern, that is which skill they learn first to achieve. How? Okay, nice, interesting. Mr. Mishra, so it's an interesting question. So what you can do is, perfect. So this SPM will not give you, which occurred when. This is not considering the time, which is very, very important. This SPM tool is considering the sequence of actions when it occurred, frequency only, not when it occurred in the particular sequence. What you can do, if you can write a simple script in Python, what you can do is extract these sequences. Suppose they say this sequence is read to quiz. Extract these sequences and put back in time in the students. When it is occurred, if the students action read quiz, change the read quiz to some pattern 1. Read quiz action is pattern 1. Replace that with the patterns. When you write a simple script to put back this frequent sequence in the action sequence, the patterns is coming back to actions, then you can find out when this particular sequence occurred. Or the simplest way is if the student is interacting with the system for say 5 hours, you take only the first 1 hour data. First 1 hour data, then run the SPM. You get a frequent patterns used in the first 1 hour. Then second 1 hour data. The only way is you have a timestamp with you. Look at the timestamp start to end. Keep only the first 1 hour data, first 1 session data, first 2 session data. Apply a pattern mining. Then you will be able to do that. The only thing you have to do in SPM is arrange this action sequence in actions in a sequence. Student 1, action 1, read, quiz, action 1, action 2, action 3 in a sequence. Okay. Thank you. Due to some personal reasons, I could not complete. Okay. I would say no, because as I mentioned, it's not possible. It's not just one person. In fact, it's not one course. There's no, there's no possibility of giving the extension for one particular course, not one user. If I have 300 users, students who want to change their assignment date, it's not even possible there. It's because of NPTEL's, the NPTEL's guidelines. Okay, maybe you can write to me. So Dr. Raja, actually you can write to me. I want to know more about what is your PhD field. Then I may not be able to give you, the right person because the current situation is bad. But I can suggest you the way you can find out the right person, the way you can, get the, get the how to approach it. Because the method I use, I can teach you. I can tell you. Is there any tool to analyze Bloom's taxonomy? Okay, thanks that I didn't get that. It's coming up. If you tag the questions in a proper manner, in the Bloom's taxonomy, recall level, analyze level, then if the questions are broken down into multiple concepts, suppose if you are having, create kind of questions which involves 5-6 concepts, if you have questions separately arranged, then yeah, you can able to you can able to analyze it. So the one way is simple metadata, that is a tagging of each questions and look at the data, and tagging this this particular question with the Bloom's taxonomy, also tagging with the concept or the topic you are teaching. Suppose you are teaching, say, topic fractions, algebra and geometry, and you have Bloom's taxonomy codes like, say, analyze level or compare level questions which is tagged to a geometry, then you might able to get the data. So more tagging of these questions will help you to find a different analysis. So the simple analysis you can start is like descriptive analytics, then you can make some meaningful inferences, then you can test out inferences is valid or not with the data. Okay. Okay, so supply chain analytics, sorry, I have no idea about that supply chain analytics. So my idea is just taking the, taking that analytics for different things in analytics, apply it in the learning context. Okay, I never checked out what is supply chain analytics. But yeah, please find internet. You will definitely find the answer for that. It's not that. So I was mentioning, 21st century teachers, more than us, the learners have all the knowledge in the world. There's huge resource knowledge of that. In 20th century, nobody we go to, when I was reading as a student, I got to go to teacher. Teacher knows everything, or I get the what I say, I get the I go to library. There is very limited books. That's all we did. Teacher is a source of knowledge. He is a guru, but that's no more. You can actually search internet, but you will find answers. Sorry for that. And how LA helps schools and colleges where they are not using books. Yeah, that's a very interesting question. That's a thing. One way to do is human observation, and if you have a good set of teachers who are interested in it, can do the human observation, and you can collect the data. And the only thing I was telling you in the last interaction with you, also I talk about that in the week 2, is do the inter-rater reliability and you log a data. So we call it as a trace data, not a clickstream data. Trace data can be from a log, any different sensors, also by human recorded data. Okay, so you have to collect data by yourself, by human observation, or if the students have consent, record the students' interaction in the class. After recording the video, you can sit down and create your own coding mechanisms of 30 students. That will help you to do analysis on that. Okay. Okay, don't take the the a priori algorithm. Just use the sequential pattern mining. The simple sequential pattern mining aim is to identify the frequent patterns from your system. This metrics I use, this S frequency, high frequency, which tells you the behavior of that, behavior of that patterns you obtain. Is the pattern is really valid? Should I consider those patterns? That is why I was trying to consider. So don't worry about don't even worry about ARM. Don't get confused. Please consider sequential pattern mining is a simple tool which tries to identify all the frequently occurring patterns in that. Its rules are ordered in any sequence. Actually, no. In our case, you can if the output is an Excel sheet, you can use your own methods to arrange it. There are other tools, I agree, where you can actually use the rules to be arranged in a sequence, or want to arrange the patterns in a particular sequence. There are other tools, but I say that in SPM we don't use that. Can you use LA on online teaching platforms being used today like Google Meet? Oh yeah. So the problem with Google Meet and Microsoft Teams using it, they don't provide data as far I know, because they have their own data policy. They can provide you the dashboard. So I never got success in getting data from Microsoft Team or Google Meet. So we use Team for most of our courses. So that's one thing we are not able to get data from them. So we didn't have a success in that. You can talk to the provider and try to get a data. If they are ready to give data, it's good. So that's why I said to go to the LMS like Moodle. At least you get the clickstream data from Moodle. Okay, yeah, so this rules are ordered in any sequence. No, that's what I'm saying is SPM. Don't get confused with SPM with any other tools. The idea here is to extract the most frequent patterns. This matrix I call I frequency, S frequency is to pick which patterns to consider for the analysis. Nothing beyond that. Yeah. Okay. So thank you. Thanks everyone for wonderful questions, and I will have a next interaction section in 3 weeks. So if you have any questions, you can post ahead in the forms shared in the announcements, also shared in by NPTEL team. So we will, I can answer the questions in the next interaction sections. Thank you everyone.